Alright everybody, let's make something great today. Yeah? No intro today. We're not going to do a whole countdown or anything, so let's get started. We got so many things to paint, and I didn't get to paint yesterday, or very much today, so I am rip-roaring and ready to go. Power cables don't need to be on the desk with the water. See, here's our tea, cool enough to drink. Yeah, that's from yesterday. That's really old. That's gross. Alright, and let me make sure. Do we actually have music tonight? Yeah, it looks like we do. Oh, that's pretty dumb. Okay, I know what I need right now. Actually, I know I need a dark brown. Let's go with the rigid leather or oak brown. Yeah, we'll go oak brown. Wow. Gonna paint some handles. Oh yeah, I did make some progress on this guy. Got him like 90% of the way there. And there's our work. Alrighty, and then don't need that. Shabow. Don't need this. Alrighty. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and paint these we're trying to paint the handles in here without messing up either our hand or our dulls. No, we don't want to get paint on anything besides the fucking handles. So try and stay focused here as we are very careful with small brush strokes. Very excited. I made some good progress on a couple of my gift projects. Every year for Christmas I try and make at least a few people gifts that are hobby related. So, very excited I got to do some of that today. Ow, there we go. Keep that nice and neat and clean. There you go. You're going to see me going back to my palette a lot right now because I'm picking up just a very small amount of very thin paint. I want to try and get a natural variation of color. I'm not looking for a nice smooth coat on this. So I'm going to paint that I've watered down a little bit more than we normally would. It's a little bit thin. And here we go down for a little bit of the thicker stuff. Down here in the shadowed area. build up less transparency, A little bit more of an opaque layer. There we go. Start here. And then we get lighter again. Gently right in here. There we go. And then over here, just a little tiny bit. Yeah. There we go. Anything under there? Not really. Nothing we can't get here in a second with the wash. Alright, good job. Wow. And there's our work. Alright, we're gonna grab a little bit of basilicalum gray. I'm gonna use this to wash the metal on the axe heads. I like to use this instead of like a normal Nuln Oil or a Army Painter dark tone. Just because I feel like the first things like this, you can see how it kind of brings out the detail in the axe a little bit. So like, let's see if we can get this without glare. Yeah, you see that? Versus on there, well, the glare is pretty bad, but you can't even see it until like we add a little bit of, yeah, there we go. Now for things this small, I usually don't mess with using NMM or anything like that, especially for commissions and stuff. I just don't. But there isn't a good reason for it. I think everyone's always really hyped about non-metallic metal, which is painting things in such a way so that they look like they're metallic, even though they don't have any metallic pigment in them like this. Or mica flakes or whatever have you. Oops. Oops. A little bit much there. Actually, I want this to be a little bit darker. This might work out. Just a little bit too much paint. There we go. Ta-da! Okay. Good deal. I got that there. Let's go ahead and we'll get a little bit of Gorgrunts or fur. Just a tiny little bit on our brush here. Get a little bit on our palette. We're going to use that to paint these gold sections to kind of bring them a little bit of definition. I don't even know if this adds like good highlights and shadows, but it makes like a solid gold or even the plate, like a plate metal. It just gives it such a beautiful tone, such a warmness to it. I love it. Looking good there. Alrighty, we're almost done with this guy. As you can see here, we got some good clean lines. Like we have good differentiation in textures, which I'm very proud of. That looks really good. I'm happy with it. But also we got like a good approachable. Oops, that's got a little bit too much contrast paint on there. That's fine. You just dab that away. And there you can see a little bit that metal that I was talking about with the axe head. Yeah. So with a another kind of shader, you might not necessarily get that, but with that we do. Okay. So what we're going to, this guy's actually done with the painting part. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do his base. But I'm actually going to peel him off here, off of our little sticky tack. And here, we will move on to the next model. Alrighty, what is our next model going to be? I think it's going to be this turtle. Not this turtle, but the other turtle, that turtle. So you, sir, are going to go sit over there for a little bit. Alright. So Turtle Adventures. Let's look at our art here. Reference material. That doesn't help us like at all. It's so dark. Whatever. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna look up a picture of a turtle. This is just a picture of a badly drawn turtle. I like that. Alrighty. Oh, I like the idea of adding foliage onto his back. Okay. So I want to do one like in a more green and one in like the more brown turtle vibe. So this is the, oops, I got the wrong one out immediately. This is the more brown, and I'm gonna actually make it a little bit darker, and I'm gonna add a little bit of Agaros stones onto his skin, I think. Let's see what this looks like there. So if we go onto his scales and stuff, yeah, I like that, okay. Like so, it's like more of that. Does he have little toes? Yeah, he does, okay. Get in there, all the way underneath. His little turtle body, his little turtle legs. Let's grab this. What I'm doing here is I'm having some issues with paint sticking. So I'm just grabbing a brush, just any brush, and I'm just getting a very thin layer of the paint that I'm using onto a bunch of it, which should help a little bit with adhesion. So it's a temporary solution. And if it doesn't work, we can just go through in the process of just go upstairs and wash the whole model off with soap. But as you can see, we're having less issues with the paint not staying on the model. So, quick tip, just a thin layer of anything will help to cover up that that mold release. Or I've used hairspray before, or just a clear coat enamel. You can just spray it right over top. And some people will be like, you can't do that because you have the mold release on there, it'll cause a film layer. I mean, I've painted a few hundred models and never had an issue with it on the ones that I've done that on, so I guess grain of salt. I've never come across that issue, but I'm not saying that issue doesn't exist. Just I've never needed to worry about it. But there we go. There we go, almost done. Controlling our volume of color. Nice thin paint allows us to do that. Get some in there. Let's get his little turtle arms as well. Alrighty. Try not to get too much paint on the spell effect. No big deal if you do get a little bit. We're gonna paint it again later. Alrighty, his other arm. Okay. Get his little turtle arms here.
The seasons come and go like thoughts of you.
Should we get the underneath side of their arms there? Flip our whole model over. There we go. Alright, cool. Looks good. And we got some paint on stuff that we don't need paint on, but and we call that overpainting, but no big deal on it because we have to paint those areas again in a second anyway when we actually paint them the appropriate color. So don't sweat too much. There we go. Nice. Bigger coat down in here. Yeah, there we go. Getting there. Alright, cool. These guys are going to be a little bit easier than I thought they would be. Let's get a darker coat on the, let's see here, what do I want to do? I want to get the tone on the shell a little bit darker. So let's use some strong tone, I think. We'll use some of this. Pretty much unthinned. I very rarely use strong tone unthinned, but I think I'm going to here. Alright, cool. I'll make sure to get it in all the recesses here. We're not quite recess shading. We're not quite recess painting in the recess, but I want to make sure more of it settles in those little cracks. There we go. That's a little bit better. A little bit more definition there. That's exciting. I think we're going to stay up too late and we're going to get these commissions done. What do you guys think? I think it's a good idea. Me and my one viewer, whoever you are, I'm super excited to have you. You ready to hang out all night? I'm actually going to post up on some social media stuff if you guys want to give me just a minute.
I can feel you flowing through my veins, taking every part, there's no escape, 'cause I can't deny all of these feelings buried deep inside. I'm out of reasons and I don't know why I ever even tried to put up a fight.
Okay. people ask me about my blue dragon painting, if you guys have seen that. Kind of whole thing got put on a little bit of a pause. Let's go ahead and give this guy, so we have a nice, let's, thinking about the colors here. Where did my contrast paint go? There it is. What color should we do as robes? See, that guy's gonna be green and blue. Let's do this guy with like some really nice red robes. Or at least red on the top. I like that. I like that idea a lot, actually. So let's grab some reds. Let's start with just dragon red. I always love starting with this color. It's such a good, it's bright. It is a bright base tone. I love it, and that's kind of why I like it so much. And yes, this is very, very thin. Totally alright. Maybe a little bit too thin. Try this. Yeah, that's more like it, actually. I'm not going to paint the trim just yet, because I think I might do that in like an orange or something. And see, as I go around the model and I'm seeing parts of it, I'm realizing that there is a little bit more to it than I thought. Like this necklace right here, I'm going to need to make sure to paint that. I think I'll do that in like a gold. Hey! Oh man, a Murkrow. Hey Phantom. I cannot wait for you to lurk and see my stuff. I don't own that ball. Alright, oh well. You ever played D&D with a turtle? You could play with this turtle. Never painted a turtle. I was surprised at the because I love the idea of the model, but I'm very surprised with the lack of turtle options. Hero Forge has them. And I offered to 3D print this guy one, but he picked out these instead. Or no, I think what I said was it was an option. But that it would be a little bit more expensive. Alrighty. But anyway, Phantom, thank you so very much. I said this is commission night. We are staying up all night until all of these commissions are caught up. Or at least caught up to a good point in which I can finish them off. You should totally get some friends together and play D&D. And pro tip, just pay a DM to run your game for you. I know there's a big internet debate on whether or not you should pay a DM or whether or not dungeon mastering is worth paying for. I'm not getting into it. if no one in your group of friends is really excited to dungeon master, just pay someone to do it. For real, you'll have a much better experience. I had a group of people that I wasn't friends with, and they offered, like, they were gonna pay me like $5 a person to run a session, like a one shot, which ended up being a two session adventure for them. And they said they had such a good time playing that, as opposed to when one of them was trying to DM for everybody else and no one was really excited about playing, and they were like, that was a lot more fun with you running it, especially given that I was like kind of a stranger to a lot of the group and I only kind of knew one guy from work. So I highly recommend that. If you ever do find some groups of like some friends and stuff to play with, just pay someone. There's tons of places online that you can find where people do it for money. Orange? Orange. We're gonna do orange on the bottom. That is an effect paint, and it is dry rust. If I put that on my model, it will literally oxidize and literally ruin the model. Just throw it in there with the other stuff. Anyway, enjoy yourself. Also, can I be anything like a golem? Yeah, like Gollum from Lord of the Rings, I assume? Yeah, I think if you were gonna try and be a golem, you'd be like a halfling monk. I think you could probably be, that's close to Gollum. Because then you'd have no weapons and no armor. And halfling, they have some variants that are pretty malnourished, I guess. Halfling monk would be pretty cool, actually. That's way too thin. So thin. One thing that's funny, so I bought a huge multi-pack of paints from Army Painter a few years back, and I'm not a big paint whore like a lot of miniature painters are. I just don't care to buy new paints unless I specifically need something. There's not a lot of oranges in this pack that I bought. That's the one complaint I think I have. It's like no... Ooh, Thief or Assassin would actually be pretty sick. But I mean, like, you can... With all of the variations and stuff in D&D now that exist, you can basically make any character you want, any class you want. You just gotta find the right supplemental book. Like in terms of like racial bonuses and stuff, but then that's kind of metagamey. So yeah, I mean, you can just say like I'm a halfling assassin and my name is Gollum, but spell it differently. Or make his first name Gall, like Gall, and his last name Am, like Amtrak. And then like, oh, Gall Am? And like you're like, yeah, Gollum. Oh, you definitely will. So, fun fact, Phantom, my first bachelor's degree is in video game design and development. And my second was in software design. And I met so many of my lifelong friends I still play D&D with to this day, occasionally online, and when I was going to school for video game design. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Never ended up getting a job in the field just because I'm not a big fan of contract work. And I'm a little bit of a nervous Nelly when it comes to jobs, so I ended up not enjoying my time in the field. Ended up going somewhere else with my career, but yeah. I met a lot of really good friends. Yeah, you totally can play D&D online. So most people actually play it online now since the quarantine stuff. There's websites like Roll20, or you can use something like Tabletop Simulator if you like the models. But something like Roll20 enables you to just do everything online between Roll20 and the Dungeons and Dragons website, D&D and Beyond. Integrating with it, yeah. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to go back to a straight up always in-person Dungeons and Dragons session, because I was even playing with local people online during the quarantine, and I still run a game for my wife and some of our friends, and even though we're all, vaccinated and everything, we still play online. Because when you're playing D&D in person, like, it's a huge commitment. It's like, especially as an adult, like, I'm talking like, you're talking 6 hours of my time in my day, and I have pretty bad ADHD, and the idea of anything taking 6 hours of my day and needing my attention is just makes me want to vomit. Oh man, I kicked my box full of eBay shit. Ah, damn it. No, my box. No. That's what she said. Oh no. Okay. Oh. Anything break? No, okay, we're good. Yes, D&D takes a very long time. Especially if you're like going over to people's houses and you're also like trying to eat snacks and stuff and you're having a good time, which I hope you're having a good time. It can take a very, very long time. It's definitely a commitment. Which is not a bad thing. I mean, for someone like me, so my schedule sucks a lot with work. I work a desk job, and I work at 11 a.m. until 9:30 p.m. on like Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So when am I going to play D&D with people? It can't be after work, because after work is 9:30 at night. It can't be before work, so the only options are those days that I have off. So I had to find something that would work. And what worked was playing remotely, like after work on Fridays. Because otherwise, if we weren't playing after work, I mean, if we were trying to meet in person, I'd get in the car at 10 o'clock at night, get to somebody's house at maybe 10:30. No, you can miss me with that. So here we go. We have a good lesson in thoroughly shaking your paint. It's almost like I have two different colors on this model right now. It's okay though. Okay, we're gonna be sloppier on these bags. That's fine. I'd rather be sloppier on these bags than trying to be really nice and clean and precise and end up accidentally messing up my arms. I care a lot more about the robes, the arms staying clean, than the bags not getting any paint on them. And when you have really bad arthritis hands, and you have good hand days, and you have bad hand days, you have to be ready for both. Make those little sacrifices. Okay. Alright, there's that. Oh, let's get this in focus. And we got some base coats down. Ooh, that looks rough. Okay, let's get something, we're not gonna paint the bags just yet. We're gonna take... What the fuck are we gonna do now? I have plans. I have so many plans. Alright. We're gonna take 5. I'm gonna take my Adderall, get a little bit of focus going here, and get something to eat. Phantom's gonna lurk, and we're gonna give some people some time to jump in here. Stay tuned, everybody. Y'all have a good one. I will be right back. Oh no, I missed the Daramaka. It's fine. I'm gonna turn off my face camera so you guys can't see me smashing food into my mouth. But you're gonna hear it. Hells yeah, you're gonna hear it. You're welcome. Let's see. Oh wow, look at that. We have more users in chat. Hey everybody, I hope you're all having a great rest of your night. I hope you're ready to make something great. We're gonna work on this guy next. We're gonna get his turtle shell. Get started here with his turtle shell. I want a nice darker green, so I think I'm actually gonna go with... I need to buy more paints, I think, actually. I just talked about how I'm not really a big paint hoarder, but I think I'm starting to get to the point where I want to get some more colors there. Or at least shades and variants, but we're going to start with Angel Green. We're gonna use a pretty reasonable brush here. Something with a nice sharp tip. And I know we started with this little vibe in here with the contrast paint, but I've changed my mind. I want to do something different. I'm going to do the shell any more flat tone because we're going to make this guy all naturey. And again, we're going to keep our paint a little bit thin here. Just want to make sure we get into all these little cracks and crevices here in his little turtle shell. But not so thin that we get water just like watery paint just seeping all over the place. And yeah, we're going to overpaint a little bit on the necklace and his skin. The skin I'm really not concerned with. We're about to be painting all this skin green. The necklace is going to be slightly annoying to repaint later because it might be a little bit of back and forth. But I have ideas. Yeah, that's too thick. Oh no, guys, I hit it with the thickness. It's fine. Alright, there we go. We fixed it. Okay. Stop. We're gonna eat a chicken nugget. Chicken nugget! I think it's kind of hilarious. I popped open my own chat there for a second, and the moment the chicken nugget showed up on screen, I went from 4 viewers to 3, so I just really upset somebody with that chicken nugget. Someone was like, who that was just not having it. We're gonna work on this guy's skin a little bit. Let's go with a orc flesh and a plague bear flesh, and a little bit of Athonian camo shade. I think we'll go in at the end. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be blending these together. We're not going to worry about, there isn't a ton of skin on this guy, so we're not going to worry about like thinning them down and getting like a duality of color for each of them. We're just going to go straight with these two, and then kind of work on any middle areas or recess shades with the Athonian camo shade. So let's open these up. This will be for a darker area. with the orc flesh. Actually, because I know I'm going to knock one of these over if I don't do this. I'm going to put this lid down, and I'm just going to pop these guys up here. Oh, that's right, my plague bearer flesh is coming apart the bottle list, so we're just going to put some of that in here. The bottle doesn't like to stay open. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by applying a little bit of the lighter shade in the lighter area, and then the darker shade in the darker area, and then just kind of starting to mixing them together is pretty much it. So for example, this right here we have our lighter areas. Grab a little bit of this, we have our dark area. Now the darker is a lot stronger, so I bring it from dark to light. And there's our skin. Alright, let me get close enough. I'm going to end up muddling them together a little bit as we go through. Once this is all entirely dry, we can add more coats of one or the other. So don't sweat too much if like your dark area is not dark enough or your light area is too dark. Even though they are contrast paints and they are better applied over a white undercoat, if you apply something along the same color family, you will start to get one color over top of others. Example given, you can see how dark that area is right here, and then we add some more of this and it starts to lighten up a little bit, especially when it's still wet like this. And this again is Plague Bearer's Flesh. It's kind of a yellowy green. I didn't get any direction from the person whose job this is for on the colors of the turtles. So I'm hoping that giving them a good variety of like a standy turtle and a normal, I think Franklin the turtle is enough. I tried to email them today. No, I wanted to email them today, but I did not. It's fine. When you don't give your commission artist anything to go on, you're kind of just telling them that you just are trusting them, which I appreciate. I keep looking at the camera, which we appreciate, but sometimes on like really complicated pieces, it can be a little bit frustrating when we know that like there are details and things that we need from you. But for something like this, he said, I want half orc warrior and turtles, and I was like, I got you. There isn't a lot of places you can take that. Plague bearers all the way. Grab a little bit of the orc flesh. Blend it in there. Go. Let's get some toes. Get under there a little bit. Back of the leg. Underneath the tail here. Let's get that really orc flesh vibe going. And then the plague bearers can come through here, like so. I love plague bearer's flesh as a color. Honestly, it's quickly becoming one of my favorites. That and like, well, obviously everyone loves the snakebite leather color. It's just absolutely amazing. But plague bearer's flesh is actually starting to get to be one of my favorites as well. Okay. I'm gonna cough 1 sec. Might as well eat something real quick too. Gotharita in chat. Okay. Actually, give me 1 second. Okay, wow. Just scarfed down some more. The last bit of my food there. Okay. Now here we are on the head. Add just a little bit of the dark green. Clean off my brush just to kind of control the amount of that dark green that ends up here. Tiny little bit of it. Mix it in here. Yeah, that's more like it. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. Get some of that extra paint out of here. I'm just gonna soak that up with a little bit of a dry brush. Okay, let's go here with a little bit more Plague Bear's Flesh. Right here on the knuckles. And right there on the top of the head. A little bit more there. There we go. Ta-da! Alrighty, cool. Getting there. Alright, let's get that deep blue robe going. We're gonna hold off a little bit on the Athonian camo shade. I think we will get to that here in a bit if we need to. We're going to start obviously with the deep blue. Again, as usual guys, starting with our darker color means we don't have to take a precision brush and bring it down into our model. You'll try it once, you'll try it a couple times. It's so much easier to, especially when you're doing big things like cloaks and such, to maybe do that a little bit, but not to do that start to finish. It's so much more difficult to get paint where you want it, as opposed, where you don't want it, than it is to get where you want it. Think like threading a needle, is what it can feel like a little bit sometimes.
I'm here just to treat you right. You're the
Thin coat. Actually, I want a little bit of Vallejo blue-green in there just for a little bit of magic. This is Vallejo green-blue. Uh-oh. We're just going to add a dot of this in here. Because even though blue and green are both very cool colors, I don't necessarily like them right next to each other sometimes. So we're just going to mix a little bit of green blue into our blue here. I'm much happier with that, actually. Yeah. And this is really thin and such, so again, we're just gonna try it out here. Oh yeah, I like that. Very similar. Not quite identical though. Trying to keep our brush strokes along the folds of the cloak. Doesn't matter if you can see your brush strokes, don't stress about it. This is the first of many blue coats that's going to be going on the thing, on the cloak here. Many coats of paint are going to go over this. We can eliminate any visible brush strokes as we go. Right now, your biggest concern is to try and get all of the white spots from showing, like so. I'm trying to get a nice even coat as we go. May have a small mistake here. Looks as though he has a sash and an undershirt. Okay. So the sash actually goes like this. Okay. Connects up here, and there's the sleeve. So I'm actually gonna grab just a different brush here. Let's grab a brush that's totally dry. See if we can clean this up a little bit and get a better look at what we're looking at. This happens. Okay. No, it's all part of the same. It does cover. He doesn't really have. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, we're good. We're good. Never mind. Ignore what I just said a minute ago, guys. The cloak does clasp there, but it's the same. it clasps to itself almost. You'll see what I'm talking about. Go. Almost there. Just being aware of the tip of our brush. So like, when we're talking about doing things like precision details, you'll often see a lot of miniature painters painting with almost hooked brushes, hooked tip brushes or things like that. Or maybe if you've done a little bit of miniature painting, you've done it yourself. Where like your brush has a little bit of like a hook on the end or something like that, or the brush tip isn't absolutely perfect, but you still find yourself able to get good precision with it. And that's exactly how it should be. You don't necessarily always have to have a perfect tip on your brush. As long as you're aware of what the tip of your brush is doing and you have good control over the consistency of your paint, when you're going into doing details and stuff, it doesn't necessarily have to be a perfect little tip. And that tip is a tip from me to you.
I'm living in sorrow since my only fear is living.
Just trying to give a quick and dirty paint job to the inside here. Some issues with consistency, so I'm going to add a little bit more paint to my palette here. What color is that? That is the deep blue, right? Yeah. And this is literally the only coat of paint that's going to go under here. I'm not in the business of painting the interior of cloaks for people to look at them. That is a different commission miniature painting surface. I can give you the link if you need it. Okay. Okay. I think we have a good... Yeah. So yeah, well, you can see right here, if you're looking close, you can see some variations in color. That's perfectly okay. We're going to either enhance or mitigate those as we go. Let's go ahead and also just get a little bit of paint on this, just in case this transition is weird later. Okay. And that needs to be turtle shell right in there. That paint has gotten very thin. a lot of glare on this camera. A wild something, a swoobat. I don't know what that is. I think that's like the Zubat replacement thing. I'll try and catch it. Looking good, looking good. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, wait. Oh, man. Oof. So this guy found some old, looks like children's toys that look like a castle, and he repainted them. And I've always been trying to find things like that, but I've never been able to. At like my local stores. Alright, let's start with on this mummy robes. Yeah. Let's start with mummy robes. That might be a little too light. I think we'll start with skeletal bone instead. I'm going for his pants here. Let's pop this right in there. Okay. And again, we're just going through here, writing all of our base coats down. We'll start to add our shadows and then our highlights, etc. And then we will continue on. Oh, see, yeah, a little spot of blue I missed here. Right in there, there we go. Alrighty, let's go ahead. This. Looks good. Where's my somber gray? There it is. I love this color. It's got a little bit of blue in it too, so it will definitely blend in really nicely with this color without you really thinking about it. Absolutely love it. Real precise in there, so not necessarily because it's the end of the world if we're not, just because it makes our life easier if we are. Because it's not the end of the world if any of this goes wrong. We can always go back and fix any mistakes. Alrighty, now pro tip coming at you live right here on Good Nuf Painting. If you want to paint something gold later on, go ahead and give yourself a huge leg up and paint it brown at some point first. For real. If you're skeptical about it, just try it. Just try it one time for me. For me, guys, please. Except don't do it with like super watered down brown that bleeds everywhere. Because brown is essentially a flat, non-metallic version of gold, it allows for better base coat. You'll see what I'm talking about. Because gold, surprisingly, actually doesn't give a very good coverage as a color, even as a metallic. Paint with those little mica flakes going over top of non-metallic paints. All right. And no, it doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. As you can see here, we're being a little bit messy. That's okay. But we're going to go through here and we're just going to clean up a little bit of this white. There we go. Getting there, getting there. Let's go ahead and grab this skeletal bone and do our little toes here as well. Overpainting by a lot because I'm pretty sure I'm just going to cover up his toes, but if they do get seen, I want to make sure that there's no paint showing. Alright, cool. We're not going to touch the staff yet because we will probably have to repaint parts of it by the time we're done. And I don't want to get like a good base coat on it and then have to repaint it and then paint it in 2 different layers. So, getting there, getting there. Getting there on this guy. And don't forget we have this guy still too. So this guy, we're going to let some stuff on this guy dry, on this turtle, on turtle B, and we're going to move back to turtle A, which is this guy. And let's go ahead and get some color variation going. So we laid down the deep red, or the dragon red, and let's go ahead and just get some stuff on our palette here. Let's get a nice pink on our palette. That's going to need shaking a little bit more. Much better. Okay. We have a nice pink. If we need it, I don't think we're going to use that. And pure red, which is just a brighter red than our Dragonstone red. Yeah, okay. And there's our dragon red, of course, obviously. So let's go ahead with our dragon red, and let's go ahead and firm up our base coat here first thing. What we're going to do is we're just going to try and paint in some of our recessed lines here first. Because we really want those to be darker. Is this too thin? It's pretty thin, but that's fine. Okay. Almost there. A little bit here. Definitely need less of it at the top. Oh, there's a good spot for a nice deep red right under here. Yeah. And right here next to the part that's going to be brightest. And right here in that fold a little bit, in that fold. I see another little line there. Okay. As you can see here, we've just started adding some dark areas. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to move to our lighter color. And this is pretty thin paint, but with our lighter color, we're just going to start painting in some brighter areas. And so for the most part, what we're doing is we're pretty much painting everywhere in this bright red that wasn't just painted in the darker red, or a second coat of our dragon red. And especially paying close attention to the areas in here that ended up after one coat of the dragon red that went over the whole thing and that ended up just pink. Oh, a skunk tank. Let's try and catch that. Lurking for Pokemon. That's a skunk tank in the chat for you. Alrighty. Alright. And there you go. Starting to add, you can see a little bit of the differentiation in color there now. Versus this side that doesn't really have it. At least not yet. At least it doesn't have the brighter side of it. Hey kitty cat. Did you want to paint with me tonight, paper girl? Come on. Come on up. Yeah, you can come up right behind me. There you go. Hi. How you doing? Want to say hi to everybody? Hi. Say hi. Everybody. She very rarely makes an appearance because she's usually already asleep. Here is Pepper. Give it, girl. You gonna hang out behind me for a little bit? See, what she likes to do is she likes to jump up and then jump down and then jump back up. And chill. Because now it's getting colder. She doesn't really know how to back up. So we're gonna leave her to do her own thing here for a bit. She'll figure it out, I'm sure. Okay. So with this, I need this to be a little bit lighter, so I'm gonna try adding a little bit of this pink into it. And it's definitely... a little bit brighter. We can deal with that. Okay, now a very thin line. Now with this, what we're doing is we're just going to go hit some of the most raised areas. The tops of these. Here on the folds here, like so. Yeah. And what this does is this is just going to just kind of accentuate the highlights and shadows. And as you can see, if you were to zoom really close in on what I'm doing, you can very clearly see all three layers. You don't have to be a master wet blend artist to make it look really good. Because at the end of the day, you are still painting a model. It doesn't need to be absolutely flawless. It doesn't need to look 100% like real life, because, I mean, would you discredit the art made by like comic book artists because it's cel-shaded style instead of hyper-realism? There you go. There's our little cloak. Ta-da! Yes, baby girl, you can get more scratchy scratchies. I need my hands to paint though. I need my hands to paint. Is that okay if I paint? Okay. Need a minute. Actually, this usually gets... What if I turn this space heater off? Would you leave then? You're just here for the space heater? Where are my late night folks, guys? It's Sunday. You need people to wake up. Okay. So there's that. Let's get the yellow down. I'm not sure how I feel about the yellow, to be honest, so I'd like to get that down now in case I need to change my mind about it. And we're just gonna go with a straight, just what is this? This is demonic yellow, but demonic spelled D-A-E-M instead of just demotic. Okay. I do not believe I've ever used this paint, so this might need a take 2 on being shaken and used. We'll see. I like this. I think I do. I think I like this. I can live with this. Yes. Okay. Nicely done. Let's go ahead and get under here now, like so. Alrighty. I see a little spot that we messed up on the skin here, so we're just gonna grab a real quick patch color, blend that in a little bit. Almost there. This. Okay. Looking good there. And where there's my fire lizard. Okay, there's my lighter orange. Hey, Pepper. Still having fun back there? Okay. You don't mind if I scoot back and forth, do you, baby girl? This cat does not care. If I have the space heater going, she's fine. Whereas this is my lighter color for the orange, so let's do something different here. We're gonna grab our Griffhound orange. We're gonna shake it up a lot. Or do I want to use? I think I'm actually gonna use a shader instead. So contrast paint versus a shader. The difference. One's thinner. it kind of just application, I think, at the end of the day, and what you want to do with it. Let's go ahead and just keep all of our paints at least semi-organized, at least like keep all of our paints in the same spot. I tend to just leave paints all over the place. Like, I don't mind if I have a bunch of paints out on my desk when I'm doing a bunch of painting, but it's really frustrating when I have a bunch of paints in like 6 spots on my desk, and then like I'm looking for something that I used 20 minutes ago and I can't find it, or like yesterday and I can't find it. So we'll just keep all these right here. There we go.
Started with flowers, now she wants everything. She wants your money, she's inside of your head. Started with flowers, now she wants a wedding ring.
Okay, let's grab a bigger brush here. See the difference here? This isn't going to do a lot, but it's going to help blend, even out our color and make it less obvious that we had a very thin first coat, and act a little bit like our shadows. So we don't have to do them manually every single time. And then we'll just add the highlights to it when we're done. Seems like that. It's a little reflective right now, but that's fine. Is my recycling full? No. There we go. Alright, back to old tea. I'll spill it all down my front. Hey, kitten. Do you like the space heater? I feel like the cat likes the space heater. I wish this was high enough you guys could see Miss Pepper. So close. If you would sit up, they could see you, baby girl. No? Okay, we'll tell you what we'll do. We'll move this camera, and we'll get a nice candid cat. Okay. Don't mind all the cables. Oh, don't mind that. That's my belly. And there she is. Yeah, hi? Hi. Aw. I don't know what a rough it is, but we'll try and catch it. Do you want to do a polka catch? You want to do a polka catch? Polka catch. This is bad for my back to sit on the edge of my chair like this, baby girl. Go on, purr somewhere else. Go on. No, don't just come around the other side of me. Go, go. Oh, jeez. That cat spends almost the entire day just in my chair.
Call me a sinner, I call myself a saint.
we are going to attempt to clip something here. So I'm going to turn off my desktop audio. All right. I think we should be good now. Yeah. There is now a new clip on the Twitch channel thingy. Of my cat. Okay. All right. That looks good. You go over there. All right. Now for the bags and such. We're going to grab a snakebite leather. Again, talk to anyone that uses contrast paints on the regular. This is one of the better ones. Grab a little bit on our brush here. And we're just going to slap it on here. Ooh. But there's a little bit too much water on the brush. Now, if we were working on like a bigger area, we would probably use a couple of different colors, which we'll do here in a second on this bag. But for these little bags, you're okay, and you can get away with just snakebite leather and then some highlights, which we'll do here in a minute. Unlike these little bags. Okay. Good deal. Alright, so now we're going to grab our lighter color, which will be the Agrostones, and we'll work on doing the snakebite. Oh, actually, let's do a darker color, I think. The Skylish? No. No. We'll do the lighter. What we'll do is we'll start with the Agrostones up here at the top of the bag. And a little bit of the snakebite leather at the bottom of the bag. And then a little bit of both in the middle here. Definitely more of the snakebite at the bottom here, I think. And let's grab the Agrostones here and get the little sash colored in as well. He's going back and forth there. Okay. Alright, so we're going to grab our highlight color here, which in this case is going to be a nice off-white. And then we will give some highlights to our leather stuff. I think my smaller brush has a little bit of a better point on it for this. There we go. There, now that we've added a little bit of the white in there, you can see our detail is starting to pop a little bit. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our highlight orange color, which is going to be this fire lizard mixed with a little bit of original orange. This is kind of like a very warm yellow, I think. So we'll pop it down right here, right next to our orange. Actually, it's a very warm orange. Maybe not. Okay, we're gonna mix in a little bit of the orange. Yeah, that's a good color. And just like on the others, just adding a little bit of a lighter color on the light areas. Okay. Actually, I like this a little bit, so I'm going to graze this all along this yellow here to make it a little less just super bright yellow. Just a little bit, kind of glaze it over just some of, not all of the area here. Like so. Okay. We need a little bit of our dark red here. At this point, when you find things like white on your model, you really need to get rid of it, unless it's intentional. Which sometimes, unfortunately, means figuring out what color is easy to make it versus what color it actually should be. Let's see if we can catch that Pokemon. Let's see where we're at. We are at about 2 hours streaming. Getting there, getting there. We are getting there. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this guy's necklace done here. This necklace in silver. Okay. Now the face is a little light, which is fine. So we're gonna add just, oops, wrong painter. Oops. Let's grab some agar stones, and we're gonna do is just a second coat of our contrast paint that we used for the skin here on the face. You'll see why in a second. Yeah. So now you can actually make things out like the eye sockets and such. Like that right there in the brow and the mouth. Okay. Now that definitely needs to dry. So we're not going to touch this face while it dries. But now you can actually make out a little bit more details in the face. Alrighty, folks, I'm going to take a quick tenor here, get some other stuff done. I will be right back, I promise. I appreciate your patience. And say hi in chat if you're still watching when I get back. Thank you. Alright everybody, we are back. Let's go ahead and continue to make great things together. Go ahead and just swap this out. We're going to get a new wet palette film here. Zoop. Go ahead and rehydrate the hydration paper a little bit in some of these spots where it's not quite hydrated. Always very satisfying. A little bit too much water in there. Alright, so then we grab our new paper and we're going to slap it on there. All willy-nilly like. Wow. Just like what-cha-chow. And we'll get a new paper towel as well. Why not? I think I'm liking this guy. Hey, Pokemon appeared. Let's see if we can catch it. I'm gonna use a wildwood on this staff. It's a nice contrast paint. It's gonna give a really nice rich color here. It is, however, very dark, so we're gonna need to be careful. Make sure we don't accidentally get this on anything. It'd really be tragic to get that like a big streak on like the face or something at this point. is. There's a different brush. Something with like just a bigger tip for these stems and such would be perfect. And there we go. The wood has been wilded. Let's go ahead and grab this in here as well. Bottom half. Oops, there's still a spot there. No way down. Actually, these are spots where it's just separated. Okay. There is our staff then. Let's go ahead and do this guy's staff as well. May as well. It's a pretty simple and basic same thing. Y'all will see what we do with this later. But for now, I just need it to be kind of brownish. Even though on this clear acrylic part, we might do something like cool, like a spell effect. I got something else in mind. I just need a base coat of brown. Doesn't matter if it's a little translucent or not perfect, but I just need something here that isn't just only clear plastic. And actually, I'm going to leave that brown, that necklace. I might even give it a lighter brown. We do need to smooth out the green on the shell. And we're going to do that with the camo shade here. There we go. I like that a lot more. And we're going to do something similar with the blue cloak. Just using a little bit more of a precise brush because the areas next to it are not blue. Go ahead and back to this brush for this. And that's going to be done with Draconoff Nightshade. Let's go ahead and put this lid on here. And this is going to give us like some shadows and such in our cloak. And kind of smooth out the colors a little bit. I did the areas that need that precise detail, and I'm going to quickly switch to my bigger brush here just to kind of get this done. It isn't even about saving time at a certain point, it's about making sure that we get a nice even color, so we want to be able to look at it as a whole rather than just one little piece at a time. I'm just going to slap this all over here, almost just like a wash. This is what I was saying, don't worry too much about your brush strokes. We're going to be covering up the whole thing in this, which will hopefully blend a lot of these together. Kind of smooth out some of these more rough transitions in colors and blues and such. Get it all ready for highlighting. Oh, I see a spot that we straight up forgot to paint blue. It's okay, it happens. Happens to the best of us. Let's grab our deep blue. There we go. Smooth out some of the little ruffles here in our wet palette. Not all of them, just some of them here. There we go, that's more like it. Alrighty, and then you can see right here, you're starting to see a little bit of the folds of the cloak of the big cloak, and now we're going to do the same thing with the with his pants skirt thingy, and we'll do that with let's see, I almost never use this and I always talk about it, so let's go ahead and use just straight Agrax Earth Trade. I've never really slapped it on a model before, but let's see what all the hype's about. I also have Null Oil if we're really bored. That's not bad. There we go. And there you go, added just a little bit of that to our cloak. Alright, and we're gonna grab let's do the Plague Bearer. We need a little bit more on the face here. Now for this guy's spell, we're going to grab a bright yellow here, like such. Moon Dust is what I'm going to be using. I'm just going to grab a little bit there on the brush. And let's grab just a brush like this. Go ahead and get a little bit on there. Just going to go ahead and get a little bit on there. such. Okay. And then while that's still on there and not quite set yet, we're gonna grab a more grab just a big old brush, the contrast paint here. Let's grab some Flesh Terrors red. And a big old brush that will get a little bit wet here. And then get that on there too.
Do you remember a day in October? The leaves were falling just like me when it was over. One more day of sorrow and I'll struggle to stay sober. Hope to see you later when I get older.
This will leave it still a little bit translucent. And there's our fire effect.
Rise like the sun, fall in the ocean. Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win, 'cause we're only human. The ghost of our past is chasing.
Ta-da! There, we're almost done. I think we're pretty much there. Just need to add a base and stuff. So I can't really touch either of those. They're both, well, I think our orange guy is almost done. And the green guy is covered in washes and stuff. So we're going to move on to the orc lady here. Ta-da! And let's go ahead and get her started. Gotta figure out what I want to do for this giant cloak. They had it as like a, just solid white. I'm not a fan of that. So I'm going to start with the gray, I think. Ooh, or a nice black cloak would be pretty cool with a really heavy dry brush. Yeah. We'll do that. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty much digging that. Okay, not bad. Look how easy that is, guys. I'm excited about that. I normally don't do like black cloaks and stuff, but I might do them more in the future if they're fur like that. That was pretty sick. Pretty fast. Nice. Ah. It looks like, I mean, it's just leather armor, right? Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit it with just a really quick coat of the snakebite leather in some of the major areas here. And from there we'll figure out what we want to do. Like this area here, let's go ahead and hit that with snakebite leather. Pretty much everything. But you'll see what we do here in a sec. And in the deepest recesses, we're gonna actually hit with a thinned down version of Skylish Purple. Back in here. That deep purple will help to blend in the snakebite leather. We'll do the same back here. Just a little bit of purple in the mix. Same back here. These areas you can't really see. Purple and brown mix very well together, especially when dealing with leathers. I do not know why. At least they work well together when you're mixing leathers in like a dark space. I don't know if it would work if like it was meant to be light. Uh-oh, can we get to that? Yeah, we can get to that. Yeah, we're good. Okay. What we're going to do is here, we're going to show you how cool it is. We started all of these in pretty much the same town. We're going to show you what you can do with this. That is how different we're going to make all of these look by the time we're done. Yeah, sure, we'll throw that in there too. There. You can even start to see the... So we only had a singular paint on our brush this whole time. And you can already see the difference in the strap and the areas around it. Just in what we chose to paint. Where is my... This is starting to get a little bit hard to close. So with Citadel brand bottles, you'll start to get some paint build up right down in there.
I'm crying out, I'm broken. Everyone in slow motion, silent like the chosen. I don't wanna show emotion when I'm crying out devotion.
Like that. Super gross.
Secrets are soft spoken, all my silence spoken.
There we go. Alright. And that's just dried paint. Just given the way the bottle was designed. Oh, whoops. Come on. Oh. Whoops. That happened. Ugh, I hate this bottle.
I'm headed to the bottom of the bottle. I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in bed, I'm probably winning it away.
Okay. It happens. Oops. Where is... There we go.
Rolling another, I'm stuck in my seat for the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family. From a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Hold my camera when I do nothing. Make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, stop. Steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. See the sun coming out of that rain. My team really not tame. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over.
Okay. Okay. At least we can get paint on our model itself. Let's go ahead and go to the agrostomes. And get like this stuff in here. Everything that isn't the hand.
I'm a slave for you. Ripping harder, more less. Never stop, no rest. Till the stress is breath in my chest. Till it's diamonds wrapping my neck. Progress to a god from a god. Mess, hopeless, more tests. More blessed. Dug deep down, trying to find my best. Find a beast, had to kill a conquest. I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off.
I think that's a blade.
Thoughts like jumping off of that rooftop. Hold my camera when I do nothing. Make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. See the sun coming out of that rain. My team really not tame. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. I'm a slave for you.
see what we got next. Looks good, looks good. Alright, take our eyebrow stones here. Go ahead and get this to be a little bit lighter. So it's just the ends of this. Actually, no, it's gonna be a little bit darker, oops. Because it's still just brown on brown. It happens. Oops. Alright, it's fine. Alrighty. We got some skulls up here? Is that what that is? Yeah. Some skulls on the a skull on the shoulder there. Alright, cool. Well, we got skeleton horde for that. Good. Oh, a skunky appears in the chat, guys. If any of you are lurking for the Pokemon game, go ahead and throw out your Pokeballs. See if we can catch something today. If you're not lurking for the Pokemon game, thank you so very much. We are 2.5 hours in here. We are still going strong. I am starting to get a little bit bored, though. I might take a break and stop streaming for the night. Because I think the last chat was over an hour and a half ago, I believe, from Phantom. So I might call it a break on the stream tonight, I believe. Okay. Let's grab our boots next. Let's do our let's do a little bit of this Terra Earth first. We're gonna use this Terra Earth to kind of pick out one of these pieces of brown and make them a different kind of brown. See how much brighter that is? We're not going to try and completely color it in. We're just adding a little line right down the middle of this strap to make it a little bit brighter as well. Just like so. We're also going to do the same thing to this bag. So we're going to more cover this bag. Like so. Ah! A little much, a little bit too much on there. There we go. Good deal. Let's go ahead and get a nice base coat down here on these boots as well. Paint's a little bit thin, but that's alright. We're going to do this in 2 thin coats, I guess. Well, I guess 3, because we'll add a wash on top of this. We'll probably do some strong. Or no, we'll do soft. Army Painter soft tone on top of this. And there's our boots. You can see they're a little bit lighter. And look at that, from a distance, this guy, or gal, this gal's looking pretty good. For the hair, let's go ahead and do Basilicallum Gray. See how that looks. Perfect. Clearly different from the cloak right next to it, but not so much that it like is obvious that we have a big color difference. These orcs are usually supposed to have like darker hair, which I know you can do orcs with pink hair if you want, but since this isn't for me, I can't do pink hair with orcs. But there we go. There's our orc hair. Alrighty. And this is just showing how quickly we can do something like this. And again, a lot more work needs to go into this model, but throw a couple more colors on there, like on these weapons and like right here on the fur, you can actually call this done. This would be good enough. You know, if I was speed painting like a whole army or something, this would be where I would stop. You know, we got some good colors, and well, once I got those other two colors on there, this is about where I would stop if I was trying to get a bunch of stuff done fast. At least on the painting aspect. Still the base and stuff to put on. Go ahead and get some Terra Earth down here on the base as well. Just like so. And we have a small cat hair right there in between the legs. That happens. Especially when you operate out of a basement. Alrighty. Let's get a first coat onto the weapons here. We'll start with the shining silver again. May as well. Match the other work that we got going earlier in the stream. Shining silver, normally not super great for a base coat, but given that we're painting over white, we might as well take advantage of it. Being really, really, really bright already. It's a good place to use big bright colors like this right off the bat. I feel like this might need another coat, but that's okay. We'll get another coat on there in a bit. Okay. Looking good. anyone watching at this point, thank you. I'm gonna call it for a night though. Thank you very much.